Hi there, it's me. So, this is the first time for me doing any voiceovers for any one of my speed paints. I don't know, we're just gonna give this a try. I am also apologizing for maybe my mic, how my mic is, mostly because I don't have a professional mic really. I'm just using a headset that I have. So, I don't know, if you guys kind of like me doing sometimes a voiceover for some of my speed paints, maybe later in the future I'll think about actually getting a better quality mic. So I did have a plan on doing something like this for another speed paint I had for a Halloween peacock speed paint, but I never got to it, and my editing software back then crashed, and it was just not worth it. So you can say bye to that recording, because it was also on my old laptop, which now I actually build my own PC, so now I can handle all of this stuff. The recording, the voiceover, video editing profiles. So yeah, so that's a bit of backstory right there. So yeah, hi, my name is Ellie Sonic 12, or Snow Ellie, depending where you know me from on the internet. So let's go jump over to this speed paint that we have right now. So here we got Snow, who is my online persona. Maybe some of you guys may have seen her around, depending. So for the longest time, I never really made a reference for her, even though I really wanted to. I just never got to it. So this is her current version right now. Compared to her old design, not much has changed, other than her ears are now matching the color of her hair. Than having the old tiger orange and black stripes ears that she used to have. Though I still made her a tiger of some sort. Just now, like when I finally decided to look at references of a tiger, they tend to have their ears black in the back rather than having the little orange with stripes ears. Even though that's how I always do them, I still have some characters that have that type of style. But yeah, she is human, but also part tiger. She has a form where she can change into a tiger. I don't know, I just made that. I was little when I made her. Well, not that little. But yeah, take it as you will. There are a few OCs of mine, now that I think about it, that actually share the same name as her, which, now thinking about it, it seems that I really liked using that name. So, a little bit about her is that she is known to be a realm holder, meaning that she is like a protector of her own realm. One way to think about it is maybe like a quote-unquote god who just watches over the world to a limit, not really intervening unless she needs to. Well, actually, no, scratch that. She kind of just lives on like a normal human being, just has powers and is known to be a protector of the realm, thus is always not really on the run, but always has to keep an eye on herself to make sure nobody tries to steal the realm orb, which is another story for another time. Though the process for this sounded much more better in my head than actually trying to write it down on paper, because I'm not the best person on explaining things, but hey, I'm trying. So we'll just leave it from there. Yeah. So Snow grew up in the human world, not knowing that she was this missing protector and in some sort of way a queen. She actually is a queen in the realm, but later on she just decides not to take that position and just lives on as a traveler instead, because she just likes seeing everything around her rather than just staying at a castle and just govern everything, which isn't something for her. So it wasn't until then that she was later dragged into realm and started to find out who she really is. In the end, she does decide to leave the human world to live in the realm. As I said before, she tends to travel through different realms, meeting different people and beings along the way. So that is basically like the simplest way for her backstory. And so for right now, let's just continue on with the speed paint, and I'll pop back in when we go into the coloring section, which shouldn't be that far. Actually, you know, when we got to this part of the speed paint where I have to like just draw the back view of her, I kind of forgot how much I really hate doing the back versions of characters. Mostly because just doing this type of way where you just grab the front view of it and then just flip it and then erase it and basically just work with the silhouette, it's much hard. It's not that hard, but it's harder than you think. I tend to struggle on this. Back when I used to take character designing classes, we had to do this a lot for so many characters, and it was absolute torture for me. And even though I think I tend to get the hang of it, once after I see it and I try to fill in the blanks, it's much more harder than I thought it was. It's still pretty fun to do. I just hate it sometimes. So in this reference sheet, I kind of decided to draw a few expressions on it, just because I actually do enjoy drawing little facial expressions of my characters when I can. I always find those fun, and it's pretty fun to see the type of expressions you can give your characters and keep them as a character. If that makes sense. Probably doesn't. I don't know. At this point, I'm just kind of rambling. Yeah. So now we're here in the inking process, which it's fairly easy. It's really straightforward. It's just me inking stuff now. So, a little thing about Snow's eyes compared to how I used to draw them. Back then, I used to draw them more of like a half circle in some sort of way. I believe one of the expressions that I drew earlier, they probably have that. They probably have the half circle thing. I don't know. It's always my go-to eyes when I'm too lazy or just going in a rush to just draw her. Now her eyes are more sharper, if I can say that, like more angular than having them just half circled. So there's that. Another thing about her is that her hair now is more puffier, because she now has like these side puffs that apparently I tend to draw a lot of characters like that. I don't know, I enjoy the side puffs. Find them very puffy and very cute. Back then, her hair was more sort of flat with like a weird bump on her head for the hair. The reason why I changed them into these little fluff tufts instead, it's just easier to hide that her ears are not there as human since they're up as tiger ears. Another thing about her is that she can actually make her tiger ears and her tail disappear to look more human. But, you know, when you have those abilities, tiger ears, they help much more to hear a lot better. Her outfit idea was more towards, you know, those little sites that you're able to, they have a collective set of clothing or character avatars, and you just kind of try to mush in as much as you can so it can be like your character. It's probably the worst way to describe it, but I got the idea from one of those. It's like one of those little Japanese sites that is just a base that you already has outfits and expressions and stuff. I kind of just found one, made Snow in it, and I kind of like the jacket and the little shirt, so I changed it a little bit. And that's what she wears now. Something more comfy. It's actually a long sleeve jacket. She just as me, I don't like wearing long sleeves so much, so if I ever am wearing something of a long sleeve, I just roll them up to my elbows, and then that's how I hold them, wear them the rest of the day. And then I don't really like wearing too much shorts. I'm always wearing pants, so that's why she just wears casual pants, something probably very comfortable with to handle her travels and stuff. So going back with the hair thing, so Snow's hair is really, really long. Don't know how she can handle traveling with such long hair. But then again, compared to me, I also have been obsessed with having long hair. I think it's because when I was little, I saw this girl who had beautiful long hair that went like past her hips. And so I made it as my goal to do that. Now, my hair isn't as long as that. It's barely reaching my hips at the moment. So for Snow, I made it much more longer for her. Don't know why. Don't know how she handles it. But I like drawing long hair. Long hair is fun to draw. Everybody should try to like just draw long hair and just go wild with it. See what you guys can do with it. So Snow has this little tiny crown that floats on her head, and the idea behind that, to explain why she has this little crown on her head, is because during one of her travels, she ends up at a circus and that's where she met this character named Hush, who is my friend's OCs. So this world is my friend's world. So after one of Hush's random experiments, it kind of backfired, exploded on both of them, which is also the reason why Snow has this new look sort of way. And Hush just decided like, you know what, I have this weird random crown here, let's see what happens if I put it on your head. He puts it on her head and bing, it just floats on her head. It's kind of just a floating crown that she has, and it's easy, it can be removed. She just likes it on her head. She sort of even forgets it's on her head. I just find it very cute, and just for her to have this floating little crown that just hangs out. It's her own little thing now. Now, don't question me anything about how Snow's tail works with her clothes. I strictly never thought about it. What I think about is that her pants, probably from the top, has like a V-shaped cut so her tail could pop out, but also has like a little buckle on top so she can just clip it in. So it's like a little hole with like a little clip on the top. So I don't know. These are just questions I never think of. I just draw them. But then I get friends or people who like question me about her tail, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't think about any of this stuff. I don't know. So for Snow's colors, apparently it seems that I always love the color blue and pinks, but in her outfit is usually more in the blue section, and so a lot of blue tones with mixed with white. The only thing that's pink is literally just her crown. So I don't know why, I just like the color blue. I find it very, very nice and calming colors. She has gone through a couple of different color variants. It used to be like a light teal, a blue color when it was just a regular shirt, and then later I redrew her with like a red coat, like an overcoat type of thing. She still had blue on it, which was a blue ribbon to on around her neck. So she still had blue somehow in it. I'm saying blue a lot, aren't I? You know, I had a script. I didn't go this far into the script, so everything now is kind of off script. I'm very sorry about it. So rambling, yeah, it happens. Once you get to know me, I tend to do this a lot, or even go off track. But anyways, yeah, the color blue, nice and calming. I actually do enjoy it very much. I swear, each time I have to do any shading or anything, light source does not come into mind. So sometimes my light source works with me, sometimes it doesn't. Half the time I don't really much care. Unless it's like a full illustration, then it's more of like, where is the light source? You know, it's a common artist problems, you know. We get to this point where sometimes we'll draw something, we'll start coloring it in, and sometimes we tend to forget where the light source is. And I don't really do the technique where you do grayscale first. I don't know why. Sometimes I do it, but most of the time I don't. Probably should practice working on that. But I kind of just like throwing shades around and see what happens. But for this style, as you can see, I'm just using regular cell shading, because I mean, it's just a reference. I don't need to go all ham on it. I've seen some references that actually go all ham, and so it's really hard to tell, like, okay, why so much filter or details or highlights and that kind of makes everything a little bit harder to tell in the reference. Which is why sometimes I do like flat colors more, but I wanted to do a little bit of shade on her. Not too much shading, just a normal, simple cell shading. So remember how I said that she was in this small little experiment accident with Hush? So what that accident actually did is kind of merge her tiger form and her human form a little bit more. So in her tiger form, she actually has red eyes, which is why she has one red and one brown. Her original eye color is brown, but thanks to the accident, she has now that's red and has like the white pupils instead of black pupils, if that makes sense. And because of the mixture or merge, her arms, it's really hard to tell sometimes, because I don't draw them too often, but on her arms, they're a little bit more beefier, just a little bit, just to like have like that tiger-like strength. But there are lightly stripes in her arms, so she has these little light or dark, I don't know, what would it be, like a little darker? She has little dark patterns on her arms that show like stripes, which I actually do enjoy. I just wish I would draw them more often. Sometimes I do, sometimes I forget, or they're just, you just can't see them, you know? You just can't. So yeah, now we have reached the end of the speed paint. Here is Snow Winter in all of her glory. So, yeah. Sorry for all the rambling. Like I said before, I had a script, but I didn't go too far off in this script. I mean, this is the first time I ever done anything like this. If you guys want more of these, you know, leave a comment down below and do all those things that most of YouTubers ask, like that button, subscribe, and all that jazz and stuff. If you want to, I actually have a Patreon. If you guys want to support me in any way, you're not obligated to do any of that. but it would be nice, you know, having some support and all that stuff. But either way, thanks for watching and all that jazz, and thank you to my Patreons who have stuck with me this long. I'm so grateful to you guys. Look at these little animations. Look at this. If you on my Patreon, if you're on the 5 tier, which is the highest tier I have so far, you know, you get to be you get a little chibi little animation like this. It's pretty cute, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. See you guys.